Welcome to a new episode from the Insatiable Writer podcast. Today's episode is the beginning of a long series of episodes I will share with you from a creative nonfiction book I'm writing. And this book is called Kings and Pawns. The first episode in the series will be the introduction of the book, which I hope you will like enough to stick around for the next episodes coming your way in this series. And now, without further ado, let's jump right in the world of Kings and Pawns. Napoleon Bonaparte said once, "In this life we are either kings or pawns, emperors or fools." Really? Does it really have to be the case, or the only two options we have? Can't we be kings at times and pawns at other times? Can't we be both and even more? What about queens, knights, bishops, or rooks? Can't we be those too? In Kings and Pawns, we can be all that and more. Kings and Pawns is not a chess book you've been waiting for to read before you take on the world champion. Neither is it a book that will help you calculate moves better, see and solve tactics faster, and master the opening, middle, or endgame. It is not a history book to celebrate the achievements of chess world champions or commiserate the downfall of great players. This is not the chess book you've been waiting for. Believe me when I tell you that is not about chess, but it is full of it at the same time. It is not about champions, but it is full of champions. It is not about the game, but it is everything that has to do with playing the game every day. This book is about you, whether you are a chess player or not. Then you may wonder why you should read a book that is somewhat about chess when you are not interested in chess or if you do not know how to play the game. When you read this book, you will know that you have been playing for much longer than you think. And a lot of the rules and tactics of chess are hardwired into your life. But then why chess? Why not Monopoly or Risk or any other game? Well, the answer for that is as simple as control. You do not control everything that is happening in other games. You leave too much to be decided by luck. But with chess, you are in control. You take credit for your wins and take responsibility for your losses and learn from them to become a better player. Isn't that what life is all about? A sense of achievement we seek and a learning process we all have to go through? Kings and Pawns is a book that will take you in a journey through the different aspects of the game, not to teach you how to play the game on an 8x8 board, but in your own life, no matter what it is that you do in life. Chess is full of rules, strategies, and tactics with different phases of the game which demand playing differently. And the psychological aspect of the game is sometimes as important as how good you play the game itself. Sometimes, how well you read your opponents is the difference between winning and losing. In Kings and Pawns, we will talk about that in the context of the experiences of our two heroes, who we will call James and Donna, as I'm not allowed to mention their real names in the book. But what really matters is not their names and who they are, but their stories and what they did. We will follow their stories throughout the book as we talk about the different aspects of chess and how they relate to their lives and to our life as well. We will find out how they took the journey from being mere pawns with their fates decided for them to becoming players who took control of all the pieces on the board and became even more important than the king and queen on the board. There will be parts in the book where I will encourage you to play the board game of chess because this will marry very well with the concepts and ideas we will discover together that will help us take a step forward in our lives. Kings and Pawns will start with talking about the rules and pieces of chess. Then we will move on to talk about the basic concepts every player needs to know. From there, we will move on to talk about more advanced concepts, tactics, and strategies you need to win. And finally, we will talk about some immortal games and champions and learn from that as well. All of that will go hand in hand with the journey of our real heroes, James and Donna. At this point, you might be confused. Is this book about chess or life, or both? Well, All you have to do is to go through the first chapter and you will know what this book is really about. And one last question might be lurking somewhere in your mind. Isn't chess a game where one player wins and another loses? Isn't life about creating opportunities for everyone to win? Well, the short answer for that is that you always win in chess, whether you win or lose. And that is what life is all about. You never lose unless you decide to lose. You never lose, you learn. However, we will talk a lot about that in Kings and Pawns, so I will leave that for later. Buckle up, for we have an exciting journey ahead where we will learn a lot from chess and the journey of James and Donna, and hopefully use some ideas from this book to make our lives better. That was all for the introduction of Kings and Pawns. I hope that got you interested, and I can promise you that you will find ideas and stories in this series that are relevant to you. Things you can use in your own lives, and by the end of this series, I guarantee that you will even love to play the game itself in case you are not a chess player already. That being said, this is your host, Danny. I would like to thank you very much for tuning in and listening to another episode from the Insatiable Writer podcast. I will see you again next time.